Now on the way to Mülheim for the second time in 1 week, and I'm honest, I'm even more excited than last week. And who would you say is the most grateful player in terms of stringing? What is like the expectation of the Team China when they come here to Europe?
You're not allowed to lose, otherwise it's almost the end of your career.
And I hope you will support it, everybody watching, and give us a comment and subscribe also to your channel, right? You also have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I have one, yeah.
Great, so let's help each other, yeah?
Yes. So once again in Mülheim for the German Open 2025, and fun fact, next week I will be here at the same venue again for the German Junior. Now my role is a spectator and also here for the media team, watching the big stars on the senior level. And next week I will be here as a coach with some of my players, and we're lucky enough to be able to face some of the best junior players in the world, because German Junior is a very special event where almost all top players from Asia also come to Europe on the junior level, and that only happens once or twice a year. So yeah, that will be super interesting to see the comparison between Europe and Asia next week, but also the comparison especially between senior level now and the highest junior level. So many of the top players that we see here today also competed at the German Junior a couple of years ago or also won the event. And probably the most famous duo now here at this year's edition is Peter Gerde, who is coaching Viktor Axelsen, both former winners of the German Junior event. So I want to use this vlog to look at similarities but also differences between the highest senior level here at the German Open and the highest junior level at the German Junior. Once again with the stringing team here, Tim Willis. How is your week so far?
It's been a good week. It's fairly busy. Obviously the first tournament of the European Tour, the leg. We've done nearly 500 rackets.
So who's the player who brought the most rackets this week?
Probably CEO, but he's obviously got his new rackets, the new NanoFlare 700, so he brought them with him for us to string.
Compared to last year, what are the biggest changes in terms of stringing, in terms of rackets?
What we're finding is, as it always was before, Arc 11 Pro is the #1 racket. This is the first time at the tournament where Aerobite is top of the table.
Okay.
At a tournament of this level, so it's just beating BG80, but X-Bolt is catching up, so X-Bolt 65, these are the three main strings we're using.
And who's the player with the highest tension this week here?
It's always Mr. Axelsen. 32-34 with 10% pre-stretch.
Still the same string, so...
Same strings, BG80 white. Obviously he likes the colour because now it matches his new rackets.
I see you following the action here on the courts. Do you see differences, or what is the biggest difference in your eyes between junior badminton on the highest level, like World Juniors, and like elite level, World Championships, German Open?
I think you saw here Huda, is it the Indian girl?
Yes.
Is still maybe only 20 years old.
Yeah.
Her level's quite good.
Yep.
But there's one or two out there that do come. Chinese, this Indonesian boy that lost to Victor.
Yeah. Junior world champion of last year, I think.
Yeah, he won.
And I'm also looking forward to next week. I'm always there at the German Junior, and I think the level is crazy. Like how good these, also the doubles pairs from China, from Korea, how good they already are. And I think there's sometimes also, I've seen pairs play in German Junior. Next year they were here already able to compete. Not winning, but they already have the level to play with the seniors.
Yeah. China can pull some player from a different province and his level is already national team.
Yeah.
So, and the Koreans with doubles now, I think here you see Kim Won-ho and Seo back together after so many years. They played the first 2 tournaments of the year together. They won one, lost one. My prediction is they're going to win here.
I think so too, yeah.
But the level of doubles in Korea is rising so fast.
And who would you say is the most grateful player in terms of stringing?
It's Victor.
Yeah?
Victor, he's always comes with a smile on his face, always thank you, please. Oh, it's no rush. Well, but obviously he puts them in, we do them straight away. So, and there's this guy here, Robin, always very polite, wants to know about stringing because he strings at home himself. So most of them are polite, not all of them. So, anyway, as we always say, it's always nice to have a please or thank you.
I think it's always great to see how much passion, how much energy you bring like on court. And at the same time, I just talked with Tim Willis, who sees you many times on tournaments, and I asked him who's like the most grateful stringer, and he came up right with you. So
thank you.
I think that's super interesting. How do you combine it being so tough and such a competitor on court, and at the same time being so humble, grateful to all the others around?
I just try to be myself. To be honest, when I'm on court, I have great respect for my opponent, no matter who it is. And I see it as a big privilege being on court and playing in front of so many people. It's a full hall today, supporting a lot of people supporting me. So I just try to stay grounded and remember that, where I come from. I was also just a little child sitting in the stands. So I'm still the same person, just a little bit better playing badminton.
And I think it's so cool to see how much you're also contributing to the sport, also beyond just playing. And there's one new project just started today with this person here.
Yeah.
You are having a podcast now together with CKU.
Yes.
Just one quick thing. Why do you start the podcast and what's the idea behind it?
First of all, it was a great opportunity for me to work with CK and his team, who can take care of everything around the actual podcast, which name is Average, Not Average. And for me, I wanted to have a platform with a longer conversation where we can talk about the stuff that everybody talks about, but having an in-depth conversation and going back and forth and sharing ideas. I think it's great for the badminton community. And now that I have a great team with CK and Romain, my own guy, who can take care of everything, it's very easy for me to just sit down and talk. And CK is very professional. So it's a great project, and I hope you will support it, everybody watching, and give us a comment and subscribe. Also to your channel, right? You also have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I have one. Yeah,
great. So let's help each other. Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So 2 intense days in the books. Really glad that I made it here, even if it was only for the quarterfinals and semifinals day. A lot of cool impressions. Meeting some big stars again, talking to Victor was also definitely special. I come back in just 4 or 5 days, I think, for the German Junior. And already looking forward to see the differences there. Also come here in a different role with some players and getting behind the court. But definitely worth it. If you ever have the chance to watch the German Open, definitely do it. Yeah, so much for now. See you at the German Junior. So now on the way to Mülheim for the second time in 1 week, and I'm honest, I'm even more excited than last week because this time I'm not only there as a spectator and to watch, but also with some players. And yeah, I also played there, I don't know, 15 years ago maybe, and it was super exciting to see the top Asian nations play there. And yeah, so it's always a highlight. First time this year that it's also in Mülheim. Before that it was in Berlin. And yeah, like I said, on my way with now 5 players. We have 2 sitting over there, Barbora and Alexia. Barbora also played there last year. And yeah, let me know what are your thoughts when you go to such a tournament where you will meet the best junior players in the world?
Hi, I'm Barbara, and I'm really excited to play German Junior in Mülheim this year. And yeah, it's always each year very great experience to play these 2 tournaments, Dutch and German Junior, because both of the tournaments there are a lot of Asian players, which is perfect for a European player to be in Europe and have the chance to play against Asian players. So for me, that's really great.
Do you have any recommendations for Alexia, who is playing there for the first time now, and she's still under 17, so a younger one?
I want to Alexia to really especially enjoy it, and if she will have the chance to play against Asian players, I think she should have take like as many things as she can, and yeah, just enjoy it and don't be nervous.
What do you think, Alexia?
I'm really nervous because it's my first time playing there, but I think it's gonna be great, and I hope I'm gonna play well.
Okay, so we driving for 2.5 more hours, and then we check in the hotel, and then we have a main, and then we have a practice session in the main hall tonight with 2 courts. So get used to the courts, the conditions, and yeah, maybe already see some of the top nations around us also practicing and getting ready for the tournament. So after having a chance to practice on the main courts yesterday, tournament has now already started. I'm on my way to the hall. In the morning I've already seen a few matches, also seen some really high level from some Chinese players especially, and also 2 very famous names sitting behind the court. Maybe, I'm pretty sure you at least know one of them. Also the other one has been world champion. So yeah, that's also classic story here at the German Junior. You see a lot of former world-class players sitting behind the courts, and yeah, Chen Long is for sure the most famous name I've seen so far, former Olympic champion and world champion. And yeah, let's see who else we're gonna meet this week. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited because I'm here as a coach, and looking forward to sit behind the court now with some of our younger girls now in the afternoon and see how they perform against top European or top Asian players. And what's definitely special about this junior tournament is that we already start on Wednesday. So many tournament days, sometimes we only have 1 match per day or even a rest day. And so it's important for me that we also look for opportunities to do some training. We can for sure use the gym around here, or also do some practice sessions with the players who already dropped out or who only have, like I said, a rest day or 1 day per match. on the way to the hotel after day number 2. We have only one player left, one girl remaining. It's Aurelia. She just won her doubles. All the others had, I guess, some good experiences, not so many wins, but that's, I think, yeah, what we were all expecting. Let's start with Jakob. He was playing doubles and mixed doubles. How was it for you second time German Junior?
I think it was really interesting to see how the top players in Europe play and what they can do better than me. But I think I can learn much from it, and I also think I'm seeing some improvements in my technical and also physical skills. But I am looking forward to train.
Barbora, you played an Asian girl from
Yes.
Korea.
Yes.
Last year you had, if I remember right, a girl from Thailand.
Yeah.
Now, what was the difference this year?
The result isn't what I wanted exactly, but with my performance I'm really satisfied, especially if I compare it to the last year. I have to say the biggest difference was actually in my game, because I think their game is much higher speed and it's just totally different game than the Europeans have. But I think last year it was more likely I was just adapting to them, and my clears and lifts were just everything high and giving them a lot of time. But right now I think I was not adapting, and I actually were making some situations and trying to play some plan, and it actually sometimes worked. And I'm really satisfied and happy with my game, that I really tried to keep the pace and speed in the game. And yeah, now I have some new things to work on, especially in my footwork, which is, I think, the biggest thing that makes the difference. And yeah, let's get going.
One more doubles and mixed doubles girl here, Silke. You played Indonesia and Denmark. So also you had some pretty famous badminton nations. How was your tournament?
In mix we played a really good game, and even though they were better, I'm happy about my performance. Yeah, in doubles it was against some Indonesian player. I think the Indonesian was good at just keep the shuttle in the game, and they did no mistakes.
One more girl that faced an Indonesian opponent, Sarah. And what was your experience like against the Indonesian girl?
I think I played quite well, but she did literally no mistakes. But I'm quite happy about my performance, because I think if I train harder, then I can also get there.
So only women's doubles tomorrow, and yeah, then we'll probably head on our way home with many good experiences. Once again, I think, just cool to see all the Asian players. There was also a spectacular doubles with Koreans and Japanese players. That I think many of our players were quite satisfied watching. So maybe some of you guys have seen a video on YouTube a couple of weeks ago about 7 Germans who went to train in China.
Right.
And actually the video was made by a good friend of mine, Hong. He's also doing coaching in Germany, but he's a former player from China, from Xiamen province. And that's also where you went. And I found it so fascinating. The video was 1 hour 15. So I thought, yeah, maybe I have a quick look. But then I was watching it all through in the evening. So I can just recommend you to check that video out, because you can see how these people train in China, and also how the German players were handling the hard, tough training.
Right.
Now we're here. Also, you said to me that there are a couple of players from Xiamen
Exactly.
competing here. And yeah, what are your thoughts when you see them now compete against Germans, Europeans?
From what I've seen, for the first few rounds, it's relatively easier for them until they going to compete other nations from Asia, like Japan, like Korean. But it's also the opinion from the coaching crew from the China's junior national team.
Yeah, you know all these coaches very well, and they are famous names. You were always like sitting around with Chen Long or Liu Sheng here because you know them from a very young age.
Yes.
What is like the expectation of the Team China when they come here to Europe? And I think for most of the players, it's also the first time they ever get out of Asia and play a tournament here in Europe.
At first, those players, these juniors players, they didn't get too much chance to go out play internationally. The goal, what I heard from the coaching crew, is the goal is achieve three goals in Germany, because they only achieved two gold medals
in Dutch junior
in Dutch juniors. So they're hoping for one more gold medals in Germany.
And have you also talked to some of the players? Like, how is it for them to come here to Europe, and what are they expecting if they've never played against European players also?
They want to win, and they need to win.
Yes.
It's kind of the task. They have to complete the task by winning the match. Doesn't matter it's a first round or semi-final. All the other rounds, they want to win.
And how important is it for them in terms of like that they need a good result here also to be able to travel to the next tournaments? Is it like a very important trip also in that sense?
Yes, that's another like a training cultural difference. Like in China, you start with a sports school that when you're really young, like from 6 to 8, then you're starting to get some semi-professional training at some academy or training center until you reach 12, 13, that you have to make decision whether you're going to be a professional player or you stop or you're taking badminton as a hobby. So it's a very strict hierarchy. So in each phase, you're not allowed to lose. Otherwise, it's almost the end of your career, the termination of a career. So same is true for this junior tournaments for them. There's 16 players in junior squad, but it's not the case that every one of them has got a chance to go out play internationally. But those are selected for these international tournaments can be replaced very, very quickly. If they do not perform well, if they do not adapt themselves to the international tournament well, then they know there are always someone, staying at home, waiting for their chance. So the pressure is out there.
Yeah.
The pressure is really out there.
I think also in your video you could see how competitive it is. Like how many, just in that one province, how many high-level players are there. And I guess one of the most famous names from that province is also the most famous name now these days here in the hall, Chen Long.
Chen Long.
And have you talked to him like how his new role as a coach is for him? Like what is he is also expecting from that job? What is his philosophy? Is he already like deep into coaching, or is it just the beginning for him?
He just started by the junior squad 3 months ago. So that's the first international junior tournament that he takes his place into. Before he was appointed as a specialized team for the first team, but only like a consultant. So he was not responsible for planning the training or traveling and preparing for a tournament. Now he really wants to pick up the coaching role. But what I thought is very positive and nice about his decisions. He wanted to start from really like basic or junior level, because everybody knows he is an Olympic and world champion, but he wants to gain the experience as a coach. And it's tough at the beginning, as we talked. Then many things that he takes it for granted himself appears a little more difficult to be understood by some junior players. So he has to be patient, but patience is a virtue, you know.
Yeah, awesome, Hong. Thank you so much. That was longer than I expected.
My pleasure.
Maybe we have to cut only a few pieces for the vlog. If you want to see the full video, I will definitely put that maybe on the Patreon account or on the podcast. I will let you know in the description below. But yeah, Hong, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And a lot of fun with your Chinese colleagues. They are not here that often.
Yeah.
And don't forget to watch the video where 7 German players went to Xiamen to train with the China province squad.
Yeah.
So back home after 2 fascinating trips, and both trips were totally different. My highlight of the German Open definitely was to see the passion and energy that Viktor Axelsen was bringing on court, even though a World Tour 300 event is a pretty small event for him if you compare it to all the big titles he has already won in his career. You could feel that he wasn't in the shape of the last few years, but he wanted to win so desperately, and you could see that in every single rally. He was so emotional on court, and I simply love that. When competing and playing the game means so much to people, especially when they have nothing to prove like Viktor. To get back to the question of the beginning, what is the difference between senior and junior level? I would say at the German Junior you could see that the difference between Europe and Asia is even bigger than it already is on the senior level. So at the Dutch Junior and the German Junior there were almost no European players in the quarterfinal or beyond. So that shows pretty well how dominant the Asian countries are also in the under-19 categories. And also when you see the level of some of these players, you can easily imagine seeing them on the World Tour in the next 1 or 2 years already. But when you talk to coaches like Hong, who knows how these players train day in, day out from a very early age on, I think it's no surprise that they are so dominant, that they are so much better. And for me, the big question is there even a chance to compete with Asia in the future for European or also especially for me, for German badminton? To be brutally honest, and also when I look at the different cultures in Europe and Asia, and also the different significance that badminton has in Asia, I can imagine a scenario where we develop as many world-class players as Asia in the future. But at the tournament I also had the chance to talk to Peter Gade once again, and he was winning that tournament 30 years ago. So he is one exception, one example that it is actually possible already to beat the Asian players on the junior level. But if you want to get there as a European player, you cannot just rely on the system around you. You have to be absolutely crazy in a positive way. And Peter also told me that he would not have won these tournaments and would not have become one of the best players in history without being completely crazy. Okay, so much for this vlog. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you're not already following, and then see you in the next video. Bye bye.